I am updating libraries the usual way. I will set up the plugin to capture post requests from the web server. Then I will set up an actor component as part of my plugin, so that the test actor will not use the plugin directly. It will have a web server component which will do all the work. The component itself will be in C++, but to test, I will use both C++ and Blueprint actors, so you will see how easy it is to use the plugin. I am just checking the plugin code looks correct in Writer and then I will be closing it. I am regenerating Visual Studio project files. I want to make sure the final changes are in, just in case. Then I open Radar IDE again. In my plugin header file, I will be adding the callback class, which will extend the callback from the library. Now I can overwrite the post method. I only need the post method. And the process for get is the same. I will copy the method signature from my SWS header. I will move the method body closer to the start web server method. I do not need to call the default implementation of this method, I will have my own implementation instead. I am converting content from standard string to Unreal F string. It's time to somehow pass this content further. I will be using events. Anyone listening to this event will receive a content text. I will use static multicast this time, and later I will also use dynamic multicast. I will have one parameter for my event, which is text. I name the event on web server post. If anyone is listening for my event, Then I will broadcast it with text parameter. Or I will print that no one is listening for the event. I will assign a call back to the server. The callback will be coming from method arguments. Whoever calls the start method must also provide a callback. This warning needs a destructor in my callback class. I will add a default destructor. There is an issue with the test actor I was using earlier. It needs a callback to start the web server. By the way, in Writer, if I click this target icon, it will find the file I am editing. I will delete this actor, as the parent project should not have direct reference to my plugin. It will be done by a component instead. I will create another actor when needed. The build succeeded, now it's time to add an actor component. It will use my callback to receive data and will start and stop the web server. I will start the Unreal Engine and add a component to my plugin. I am adding a new C++ class of type actor component. This is important. I need to select my plugin from the right-hand drop-down menu. This class will be created in my plugin and not in the parent project. I give it a name Simple Web Server Component. The class was created but I cannot see it. This is because it is inside of the plugin and not here in the project. My writer already picked up the changes. This is the component I just created. This component will be acting as a web server, and an actor can have it assigned to itself. It will then have all web server functionality available to itself. I will be doing minor refactoring to it and having the same lines I had in my deleted actor for the plugin. Create a plugin in the constructor, start in the begin play method, stop in the end play method. I will also expose the web server port as uProperty for blueprints. I am using the forward reference again for my plugin class. And I also need another field for a callback. I was trying to use forward reference but it did not let me. I guess I have to include the plugin header file. I am passing my callback to the server start method. I do not need to implement the callback methods, but I do need to listen to an event. I am doing it the usual way by binding this class method to an event. This will do for now. I will be printing something to the console. The idea is, this component will also be broadcasting an event, to which an actual actor can listen. To recap, the component will receive text from the plugin and then will use dynamic multicast event to broadcast it further to whoever is listening. Be it a C++ actor and a blueprint actor. The receiving method which I used in binding needs to be ufunction. This is required by Unreal Engine. I think this method had a glitch. Anyway, it's no longer red. This is good enough to test. I will build the project and test it in the Unreal Editor. I am creating a blueprint class of type actor. Its name does not matter, I will delete it shortly, it's just to test that I can add a component to it. I am searching for my plugin component, and there it is. However, I do not see the web server port I exposed as uProperty. I will sort it later. Compile and save. I am dragging this actor to the scene and will submit couple of post requests. This is weird, it does not work even after I hit play, but the web server should be started. The code looks right, the component starts the web server. However, I forgot to stop it, but it's not related to the issue I'm having. Try an error, I will rebuild the solution and test it again. It still does not work. I will reopen the project. Then I will add the blueprint actor to the scene again, and test again. This is the simple web server component, and look, the web server port is visible now. It could be the Unreal Engine glitch. I added the actor to the scene, hit play and it works. The console output says that no listener is bound to the simple web server component. Let's fix it. I will add a listener to the web server component by defining an event in the component and having my actor to listen to it. The web server component will use a dynamic multicast instead of static multicast, which was used in the callback. The principle and the declaration in the binding are all similar. But I am using dynamic multicast because blueprints can only bind to dynamic multicast. If I wanted to support just C++ code, I could use static multicast as it's faster. I will delete this blueprint actor and have a clean scene. It's always better to not have any actors on the scene, as two web servers running on the same port but with different actors will not work as expected.